Hi, everybody. This is Missy Lane at the Oosterhout Free Library, and I have some stories to share with you. Stories about snuggling up on these cold winter days and winter nights, and maybe taking a little nap. And this is our first story is about a little boy named William, and it's called William's Winter Nap. Now we see William has a few friends in that bed, doesn't he? We're going to find out how they all end up in there with William. And you'll notice he's got nice covers, little quilts with one with patterns that look sort of like triangles. Don't they look like triangle shapes? And one with maybe stars or snowflakes. And here below is another cover that has squares. So pay attention to those because we're going to be making our own little quilt. I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. But let's read William's Winter Nap by Linda Ashman. And the pictures are by Chuck Groenink, and this book is published by Disney Hyperion Press. And here we go. There is William. In a house on a hill that's tall and steep, there's a boy named William who's ready to sleep. He drinks his cocoa, climbs in bed, he fluffs the pillow beneath his head. Then he burrows down for a long winter nap. But he wakes up to the sound of a tap, tap, tap. Excuse me, but I've lost my way. I'm cold and I'm tired. May I please stay? Will says, yes, I'll scooch a bit. There's room for two. I'm sure we'll fit. And we see someone at his window. And it looks like it might be a little chipmunk, I think. Is there a chipmunk or a squirrel? I think it looks like a little stripe on his face like a chipmunk. The two climb in and curl up tight. They yawn and say, good night, good night. It's quiet, just the clock's tick-tock. But wait, what's that? There's a knock, knock, knock. Oh, what a lovely, cozy place. Can you spare a smidge of space? Now who's at the door? Will says, yes, we'll scooch a bit. There's room for three. I'm sure we'll fit. Do you know what that is? That's a porcupine. Look at all those quills on his back. The three climb in and curl up tight. Then they yawn and say, good night, good night. It's peaceful in the sleepy room until that is the boom, boom, boom. What could that be? My toes are numb, my tail is too. Okay if I come in with you? Will says, yes, we'll scooch a bit. There's room for four, I'm sure of it. So the four climb in and they curl up tight and then they yawn and say, good night, good night. Ping, ping, ping. Could that be the rain? No, it's someone throwing pebbles on the window pane. Will says, oh, I'm sorry. May I come in? I need some rest. I promise I'm a perfect guest. So Will says, yes, we'll scooch a bit. There's room for five. I'm sure we'll fit. The five climb in and curl up tight. And then they yawn and say, good night, good night. Now we've got five in the bed. And it looks like the animals are at one end and Will's moved to the other end of the bed. The sound of snoring, soft and low, and then crunch. There's footsteps in the snow. A notice slipped beneath the door, and it says, do you have room for just one more? Well, I'd rather not. We're too squished. No space. There's got to be some other place. We don't have room. Too hard to fit. No way. We can't even consider it. That's what these four are saying. But Will says, if it's someone small, it might not be so hard at all. He tugs the door to see who's there. Uh-oh. Oh my. What now? It's who do you think it is? Let's read it again because remember, everything rhymes in this story. He tugs the door to see who's there and then says, uh-oh, oh my, what now? It's can you guess? Did you guess it was a bear? It is a great big bear. I saw your light on through the trees. I'm lonely. May I join you, please? Oh dear. Are they going to let the bear in? What do you think? The bear shivers in the falling snow. Oh, I see. There's no room. Well, that's fine. I'll go. Oh, he sees all the other animals there and says, okay, no room. But Will says it's awfully cold. And the others say, the snow, the ice, he'd keep us warm, and he seems quite nice. They all say, wait, we'll scooch a bit. There's room for 6. Somehow we'll fit. So they called the bear in. The 6 climb in and curl up tight. They yawn, ooh, and say, good night, good night. Oh my, look at them all in the bed. I think somebody's not going to fit. Sweet dreams, my friends, says Will. Sleep tight. I'll see you in the warm spring light. And you see where Will is? Is Will in the bed? No, Will ended up on the chair next to the bed. And he let all the animals have that nice cozy bed with those big fluffy quilts on top. And that's the story of William's winter nap. That was some nap. Well, we have one hour story about a nap. And this is about, you might know this little creature. This is Llama Llama. Have you heard stories about Llama Llama? There's a lot of good ones about Llama Llama. And this one happens to be Llama Llama Red Pajama. He's wearing his red pajama, isn't he? And this is by Anna Dewdney. And written and illustrated and published by Viking Press. His llama's little toy llama. And you see he has a nice quilt on his bed with all different colors of patches. And this is how the story goes. Llama Llama Red Pajama reads a story with his mama. Mama kisses baby's hair and Mama Llama goes downstairs. She's saying goodnight. He's all tucked in. Llama Llama Red Pajama feels alone without his mama. So baby llama wants a drink. But mama's at the kitchen sink. He looks busy washing dishes. Llama Llama Red Pajama calls down to his llama mama. Mama says she'll be up soon. But baby llama hums a tune while he's waiting. Llama Llama Red Pajama waiting for his mama. Mama isn't coming yet. Baby llama starts to fret. Llama Llama Red Pajama whimpers softly for his mama. Mama Llama hears the phone. Baby llama starts to moan. Oh, now she's got to get a phone call, and baby llama's waiting for her. Llama Llama Red Pajama listens quiet for his mama. What is Mama Llama doing? Baby llama starts boo-hooing. He's getting a little impatient, I think. Llama Llama Red Pajama hollers loudly for his mama. Baby llama stomps and pouts. Baby llama jumps and shouts. Oh dear. Llama Llama Red Pajama in the dark without his mama, eyes wide open, covers drawn. What if Mama Llama's gone? Oh, now he's starting to imagine maybe she ran away. Llama Llama Red Pajama weeping, wailing for his mama. Will his mama ever come? Mama Llama, run, run, run. And sure enough, here she comes running. Oh my goodness. She's wondering what's wrong. He's crying, he's wailing, he's stomping. Baby llama, what a tizzy. Sometimes mama's very busy. Please stop all this llama drama and be patient for your mama. Llama, llama, don't you know that Mama Llama loves you so? Mama Llama's always near, even when she's not right here. Llama Llama Red Pajama gets 2 kisses from his mama, snuggles pillow soft and deep, and baby llama goes to sleep. There he is. Now he's okay. I hope he sleeps through the night. Poor mama. So did you notice the beautiful cover? And actually the cover on his bed looks like the inside cover of the book, right? All different colors of pretty squares on that quilt. Well, it's nice to have a nice warm quilt in cold weather. And here we see a book called The Quilting Bee. And this is written and illustrated by Gail Gibbons. And it is published by HarperCollins. And in The Quilting Bee, we see how people make quilts, because it's a lot of work to make a nice quilt. And when a group of people get together to sew the quilt, they call it a quilting bee. They're all working hard as bees work. But first they have to pick out the materials and decide on what kind of design. And when they make a quilt, it has 3 parts. It has the cover that you see with all the pretty colors and designs. And in the middle is a nice, soft, fluffy part, the filling, the padding that goes in it. And then there's a backing that goes under the padding. So that's your quilt. It has a couple parts. And like I say, there's all these different designs you make. Here's a beautiful quilt that has trees all over it. But for each of those trees, it takes all these parts to put together to make a square that looks like a tree. And there's lots of different designs. And then you see everyone sits together and sews a different part of that quilt. But sometimes people make quilts just by themselves without a lot of help. That would take a long time, but it can be done. And look at some different patterns for the squares. And here's some more. One that has a log cabin on it. All different designs. Some that, yeah. Anyway, so here we see everybody's holding up a different pattern that's used on a quilt. These were the ones where some show you the weather. You see some that look like sun, or this one looks like sailboats on the water and flowers, things from nature. Maybe a basket of grapes. So all kinds of designs. Now, those are all quilts that have nice, perfect squares. But this is more like the kind of quilt that we're just going to make a pretend quilt. And ours is going to be like this type, which is called a crazy quilt. How about that for a name? That's a crazy quilt. And do you know why? If you look at it, it's not all perfect squares like some of the quilts we saw in the beginning. There's all different shapes of squares. Some are not even squares. Some are like triangles. Some are a little more like rectangles, but not perfect. And some are squares. So there's all kinds of shapes, all kinds of colors, and all kinds of patterns to make this crazy quilt. So we're going to make a quilt with a piece of paper. Oh, I'll show you the one I made so far, and then I'll show you how we did. So this is my crazy quilt. That looks pretty crazy, doesn't it? Look at all the colors, all the designs, and you could probably tell these are pictures that are taken from the funny papers, the comic page in the Sunday newspaper. You might see some characters you recognize. There's Pinocchio, and there's some others too. Dennis the Menace is here, and lots of different characters from the Sunday funnies. So that's how we did our quilt. And again, they're all different shapes and sizes, not all perfect squares. And I put somebody in the bed with that nice warm quilt. I just drew a little face of a person, and I gave her a kitty, and I gave her a teddy bear too, to be all snuggled up in that under that quilt. So you can do that too. And all you have to do first is find a plain piece of paper. And the first thing I did was decide how big my quilt was going to be. It's going to be most of the paper is going to be the quilt. So I drew a line across, like about like there. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight because a quilt wouldn't be perfectly straight. And this is the part we're going to fill in with our quilt. And at top, you can draw somebody. You could do something simple like I did, maybe a circle for a head. Not a perfect circle, is it? And then just have their body part goes down there. And you can see what we're doing. And you can give them some hair if you want curly hair like I did, like that. Or you might want straight hair, any kind of hair you want. Give them 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. So that's just a rough drawing. And if you want to give them a little teddy bear to be in bed too, let's give a teddy bear with nice little teddy bear ears. And he just goes like this. So a little teddy bear. And I'll give him a little face too. He needs a face. Give him a little nose here. And there you go. And then you can color them. Color the people and the bear and anybody else you want to put in there. Like in our story about Will and his winter nap and all those animals. So then for the quilt, what we do, I took funny papers. You could take anything you want. And maybe some of you should get some help with cutting pictures out, but they don't have to be perfect squares. Now here's one of Snoopy that's a nice square. You could cut that out as it is. If not, you could just cut out parts of a picture, little parts, and then get a glue stick, some glue, and just kind of start. Sometimes it's a good idea to lay them out first. Get all your pictures that you're going to use, lay them down where you think you want them to go, and then start gluing them down until, and again, they can overlap each other. They can go under other ones. And there could be even a gap too. You can always fill in gaps with color. You could use crayons and color in some of the spaces that are empty. I didn't do that on mine, but you can do that. And make a fun quilt. It's just so much fun cutting all the pictures, putting them together. Before you cut anything out, make sure it's okay with mom or dad, with the grown-up in your house, that you're not cutting something that they don't want you to cut, okay? So usually if you have paper, something from the newspaper, could even find pictures maybe in an ad from the supermarket. Those are usually in the papers. Cut out maybe some oranges to go in your quilt, or nice bowl of blueberries and strawberries, or whatever you find that you would like to have on your quilt, okay? Put them all together and make a pretty crazy quilt. And I hope you have fun doing that. And I know I had fun making my crazy quilt. And I'll see you again in our story time from the Oosterhout Free Library. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.